Hey there guys, in this video we're going to be going to Grace of Purgatory Wind. I said that wrong, but you get the idea. It's the Wind trial. And we're going to be doing an all mission clear. I have not done this one yet in JP, but now that we've got the new Neovision's Awakened Akstar, the Ashura Akstar from the 5-star days, he got an incredibly powerful Neovision's Awakening. He does huge modifiers. So we're going to go to the Wind fight using him. We're going to use the new Aiko as our Wind support. We're going to use Emperor for our Wind Breaker, the new Esper Tyvis for our leader skill, and then Cecil for being the best tank on the JP server. Okay, so the Neovision's Awakened Akstar has a 6,600 times modifier that he can use to deal damage, and it's extremely powerful. So, this first boss has 5 turns of this idiotic Mighty Guard stuff, so we're going to basically just be stalling for 4 turns and killing him on turn 5. So we're going to start off with the Akstars using their LB for a permanent modifier buff. We're going to start our EX1 Aiko in the base form, then go to the shift, and we're going to use Break, Cure, and Immunity, Wind Imbue for the party, and we're going to do, let's see, some double LB fill because, EX1. We're going to use Cecil to start in the shift form. We're going to use Shelga, an attack and magic break, and a resist buff on turn 1. Now this boss does status effects that ignore immunities. You need to double up on immunity. So we're going to use Petrify resist buff from Tyvis to start us off. And then Emperor can just, break. A small break. Okay, so now we're going to have some attacks. Now some of these bypass cover. It's a little painful, but we're overall going to be okay. Okay, so turn 2, we're going to use Cecil to put up regular cover and then double heal the party. We're going to use the Akstars to now do all their big cooldowns to unlock that 6,600 times capping skill. Tyvis can go ahead and put up an LB damage field. He does have that on demand. Emperor can just break again, and then Aiko can just kind of mostly do whatever here. We'll just use some cooldowns of hers. We'll do this cooldown, and we'll do a little bit of MP fill because we did use a lot of MP on the Akstars. Okay, let's see. So more attacks this turn. They're not really that big a deal. We don't got to worry about it. And there are some status effects. Now, we did buff immunity to Petrify, so we didn't get Petrified, but the other stuff like Blind, Poison, etc. we did get. So Tyvis, this turn, we'll go ahead and just use Panacea to get rid of that. Now we're going to use Emperor. Now I want to save the SLB for next fight, and because mine is EX2, we're going to use his regular LB on turn 3. We're going to use Aiko to cross-summon Fenrir. That's going to put up an Imperil field as well as Mirage the party. Then we're going to use the Akstars to do their SLB, and we'll go ahead and chain it up. This is not really a damage turn. Their real damage is going to come next turn when we do their capping skill. On turn 5, actually, not even next turn. This turn, we're going to use Cecil to Omni cover, because on turn 3, the boss does some really powerful fixed damage that's elemental. Cecil's wearing 400 light resist, so he's going to be super resistant here, not to mention it's Cecil. But it would have dealt a lot of damage to the party if they had gotten hit. Okay, so now we're going to use Aiko's LB to, to put up an Imperil field. We'll use Tyvis just to support chain a little bit with it, with Bolting Strike. Tyvis is not geared for damage, by the way. We're going to go ahead and just guard. Actually, the Akstars are pretty healthy, so we can actually... no, we'll just guard them just to be safe. But this turn we are going to take a little bit of damage. We're not going to use the SLB of Emperor. But he can do some Bolting Strike to support chain, and Cecil is going to do his LB. Okay, so we're going to chain up Aiko a little bit. Honestly, Aiko's really not here for the damage. She's not geared for damage, as we can super see. Not to mention the boss still has Mighty Guard, so I don't know why I'm trying to be goofy and trying to deal damage during Mighty Guard. But now the Mighty Guard is gone. Now we can actually hurt this boss. So we're going to have Aiko just do some LB fill because we want to get her LB filled for next fight. Let's see. Cecil will do Kurega to heal the party. And we're going to final with this light skill to imbue the party as the last action. That also fills LB gauge. Now we're going to support chain. So we're going to have Emperor quad Chaos Wave Awaken with Aroga. And so will Tyvis with the Irine's Ring. And then the Akstars will now quad this skill. It's 1500x modifier per hit. And we did some modifier buffs for it. So it's really 6600x modifier. So we're going to chain this first, wait for the chain to build slightly, and then cap this. And as you can see, we are doing very large damage with that. And Cecil will do some LB fill before we go. And there it is. We OTK'd the first stage with Akstars. Now this next stage, thankfully, does not have Mighty Guard. It is a double fight though, but Akstar's finisher is AoE. Isn't that cool? Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start off with Aiko on the base form, doing her base form LB. That's a 300 stat buff, Wind Imbue, Wind Amplify, etc., etc. The Akstars are going to, on turn 1, unlock all their skills. So we're going to go ahead and use all of their cooldowns. It is a new fight, so you got to unlock them all over again. Tyvis can just refresh the LB damage field this turn. We can use Emperor to now use his SLB. We want to kill these enemies quickly. Now, turn 1, these guys don't do a whole lot, so we'll just do some regular buffs and all with Cecil. But turn 2, they start getting irritating, and then if one of them dies and the other one doesn't, they get really irritating. But overall, not super bad. So we did get broken and all on this turn, so we're going to deal with that with Aiko in just 1 second. Okay, Aiko will go ahead and cure the breaks. We'll imbue the party, and we'll just do her LB fill thingy. Now for the other units, we're going to use them to support chain. We're going to quad Aroga again to build that chain. Quad Aroga. Cecil is going to do Omni, because this turn they do a lot of fixed attacks. They really freaking hurt. They drain mana, all that dumbness. We're going to just Omni cover all that with Cecil. We're going to resist, and then doesn't really matter, we can heal. And we're going to SLB the Akstars. Now their SLB is a Katana in Peril as well, just FYI. That's where we're getting our Katana in Peril from. And I think I mentioned we're actually not using a Dragon Killer on this clear, but whatever. So we do have Omni cover for this turn, so it's not too bad, but you know, going forward, if these enemies weren't about to die, this fight would get real irritating. But we can now finish them off. We'll go ahead and reload the Aroga users, and now we'll use that big, enormous finisher move and knock these guys out. Now, honestly speaking, I probably could have killed them on turn 2 by just going directly to the finisher. But the reason I wanted to go an extra turn is for the SLB cooldowns and the trance shift of Aiko. I really wanted the next fight to line up properly, because this fight is the most annoying of all. My God, this dude is horrible. Okay, he imbues your party with thunder pretty much every time he takes damage almost. He does it at the 99% threshold, at the 75, 50, and 25 threshold, and he absorbs thunder. So for a physical party, that's real irritating. So as soon as you deal a single point of damage to this guy, you're getting imbued with thunder. So we're not going to deal any damage on turn 1. We're just going to do all the unlocks of the Akstars, and we're going to just wait. We are not doing damage on turn 1 because this boss is irritating. We're going to use Emperor to do, let's see here. We're going to just do, I'm trying to think what's the best way to do this. We're going to do his Magnus to break on turn 1. We're going to use Cecil to cover Shelga and resist buff. We're going to use Aiko to go to the shift form here, where we're going to do some, we're not doing any damage to the boss. We're going to do break immunity, imbue, and let's do some modifier buffs for herself. That's the last action. We'll do an imperil and a modifier buff, and Tyvis can just go ahead and put up that LB damage field again. Okay. Yeah, so we don't want to do any any damage whatsoever, because the boss would start being irritated if we did that, and we don't want that. So now the boss puts up a super obnoxious guard. These can be dispelled, and Akstar's finisher move, believe it or not, is a perfect dispel before damage. How good is that? Unfortunately, we're going to lose some damage with Aiko, but that's okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the SLB of Emperor for a big Imperil. We're going to use Tyvis to just quad Bolting Strike. We're going to use Aiko to shift that LB to put up that Imperil field again. And we're going to use Akstar's to SLB. Oh, nope. We're going to use their finisher. We're just not going to Katana Imperil this turn. So the goal here, we want to jump from here all the way below 75 to get 2 of those thresholds out of the way. So what we're going to do, we're going to chain this, wait just a second, and then chain the others, and deal a damage, and we did it. We got below 75. Mission accomplished. Okay, now Cecil can go ahead and do cover. We'll just do a resist buff and a break, whatever. Now we're getting imbued for 3 turns. Now, if we brought a way to get rid of the imbue, for example, Bushido Freedom, double cast a spell, something like that, or someone like, you know, Edward Elric or whatever, we could keep dealing damage, but that's so irritating to try to do it that way. So we're just going to wait it out. So we're basically going to just hang out for 3 turns and kind of do nothing. So Akstars will just guard and wait. Tyvis can just like do eccentric. Honestly speaking, we can deal some damage with Aiko, so we can just keep dealing damage with Aiko. Let's do some quad evocation. Now Aiko is really not geared for damage so much because I needed to gear her for a lot of LB fill. So right now she's really not geared for damage. But you know, we'll try to do like a little bit just to say we did. Let's go ahead and chain this up, because these are evocations. These ignore the imbue. Now, as you can see, we basically did hardly any damage, but it's whatever. So what turn are we? I got my little turn chart here. Oh yeah, so we're going to use Cecil to cover. We're going to use the cooldown break to take less damage, and we're going to resist buff. Okay. Yeah, because my Aiko's EX1, I had to gear her for like 1,000% fill rate and a bunch of like, you know, things like paintbrush and all that. So she's not properly geared for damage here. So don't judge her too harshly when you see her damage looking real bad. So what we're going to do now with the Akstars, most of our cooldowns are not available, but the big Capper unlock is available. So now we're going to use the LB of Aiko here, and we're going to do another quad bolting with our Tyvis. That's not quad. No, quad bolting with Tyvis. Emperor, what are we doing on Emperor? Turn 4. I have my turn chart. Turn 4. He's not really doing anything. We're just hanging out. We're breaking. Okay, let's go ahead and deal some damage here. I mean, it's better than nothing. Okay, let's go ahead and do Cecil's LB as well and heal the boss a little bit. Okay. So we have one more turn of being imbued, and then we're going to go for another burst and try to jump down below that 50 threshold. Not a ton of damage. The boss is relatively low damage. He's just super irritating. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the SLB of the Akstars. Wait for the spin. I don't want to chain this and heal the boss. Actually, we only need one SLB. Let me double check. His SLB is only an Imperil, right? It doesn't like modifier buff. Correct. It's only an Imperil, so we're not even going to do it on the second one because there's no point. Now we're back in the base form with let's see, with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to imbue the party, cure those breaks, and let's. Do we really need to LB fill? We really don't need to LB fill her right now. So we'll just imbue. Break immunity. And I guess, I mean, we can do a big resist buff, can we? Yeah, let's do a big resist buff with her. Okay, Tyvis on turn 5 is going to just do. I mean, we can refresh the LB field because why not? And Emperor can just, you know, whatever. Like, honestly, Emperor is just here hanging out. And Cecil, now this turn is going to be a double AoE physical, so we're going to Omni cover to take care of that. So we're going to Omni cover Shelga, and resist buff. So Cecil will evade the physical damage this turn. Okay. So now turn 6, that stupid imbue has finally worn off for us. So we're going to go ahead and use Emperor's SLB to deal that big breaks and all. We're going to use Tyvis to quad bolting again. Let's see here. We're going to use Ico to triple. Unfortunately, only triple bolting. But we only have triple cast unlocked anyway because our other cooldown was not available on the Akstars, which is okay. So we're going to do this. Wait, do this. Perfect. Okay, so we've got that next threshold. Cecil can now just, kind of whatever. We can Curega. We can cooldown break. And we'll go ahead and fill his LB gauge to get his mitigation up again pretty soon. Okay. So we got imbued yet again. So Cecil is going to cover, Shelga, and resist buff. Ico on turn... What are we on? Turn 7? Alright, I got my little turn chart here. Let's see here. What are we doing on turn 7? Oh yeah, so now Akstars can do all their cooldowns again. So we're going to have a nice big burst with Katana in peril and everything as our finale burst. Tyvis, not much to do here. Emperor, not much to do here, so we'll just break with you. Tyvis can just quad here. And honestly, I probably could have geared Tyvis for damage and contributed a little bit. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we are out of Esper Orbs. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I didn't gear enough Esper Fill either, so let's just have Ico do Imbue and some LB Fill. And we can refill that field, I guess. Yeah, it looks like I kind of forgot to gear from Esper Orbs, but okay. It's okay. It's okay. The damage from Ico is honestly just like because, we're like just sitting around not doing anything. That's why. Okay, so the boss did do that stupid thingy again, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and use the SLB to Katana in peril again. Let's see. We're going to shift Ico this turn. And we're going to do her shifted LB. We will once again, let's see, have you do quad bolting, which does consume Esper Orbs. You can just triple bolting, and Cecil can do his LB for the mitigation. Okay, let's do some evocation and magical damage. Now the boss does have the Mighty Guard up. We couldn't dispel it, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. We have one more turn of this stupid lightning imbue, which is just beyond obnoxious. Okay. We're going to just guard the Akstars, because, one more turn of Imbue. We'll do a break with you. Let's see. Tyvis can... How's our LB gauge looking? Our Esper gauge, I mean. Let's... I think I imbued the party last turn, didn't I? I did. So we're going to just quad bolting. You will quad bolting. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure that I want to do that because that could potentially mess up my my next turn. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna just like use some cooldowns and stuff. So we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. And we'll do this. We don't want to mess up our Esper gauge. Let's see. Let's break, cover, and resist. Because we're going to be winning next turn. In theory. And you can discard. Okay. So turn 10, which is turn 18 of our clear, we finally have the imbue gone again. And now let's go for that big boy damage. We'll SLB you. We will quad bolting you. We will quad bolting you. And now let's do a fully powered up finisher with the katana in peril. Okay, wait for all this to finish. And here we go. We chain, wait just a second, and then chain this. Boom. Got it. All missions. So that was a 5, 3, and 10 turn fight for an 18 turns in total. Got it. Okay, so the team we used was Cecil with all resist, elemental resist, all immunity, passive provoke, and evasion. There is no death on this fight, so that's fine. Don't need to worry about that. Aiko in the shift form, kind of, sort of, little bit geared for damage, but not really. Her damage looked garbage. I had to give all the stupid LB fill and all that, and there we go. And she is using the double-handed staff, though. But, I mean, she's maxed on Esper stats and all, but I couldn't max her double hand. I couldn't max her LB damage because I needed that LB fill. If she was EX2, we'd be doing way better. And then shift form, base form is really just LB fill. So my Akstar is at 15.8 attack power, double-handed katana build, you know, status immune, etc. There we go, and he is maxed on Dragon Killer using the Titus card, so maxed Dragon, maxed LB. Emperor is kind of whatever, literally, he's just here as a breaker, like his damage is irrelevant, but he does have quad, Chaos Wave Awakened, and Bolting Strike, and all that, and he is a breaker, and he's a really good breaker. Our Tyvis was just support. I should have given him more LB fill. Whoops. I didn't gear him for damage. I actually should have geared him for damage because after I thought about it, honestly I couldn't. No, I needed him to chain Aroga some turns. Yeah, he really couldn't be geared for damage. He is pretty much hard locked to Holy Element, so that's why we didn't really worry about that. He is using Aroga from the Chocobo Staff, and that's where we're getting Aroga from. Ironi's Ring, Panacea, or Riku's Pouch, etc. We didn't use the shift form. There's the whatever card. And then the friend is 16.1 attack power. Very nice. There we go. Maxed Dragon Killer and using the ice card. That's why he's better, because he has the ice card. I don't. And there it is. So there is an all missions with Neovision's Awakened Akstar. Yes. Every 3 turns, Akstar can do a 6,600x modifier finisher. And it's real strong. It's real strong, especially when you have a 750% leader skill from Tyvis. And there it is. So friend, you know, slightly stronger, did more than me. There it is. And Aiko rocking out the 1.4 billion. But okay. So I am now caught up on Purgatory Trials. I had, you know, postponed this one for a long time. But we're good. All right. See you in a bit.